Hello, Boston PH people. I'm Matt Murphy with Boston PHP, and we're excited to be kicking off our 200 Days of Code initiative next week, starting on Wednesday, January 14th. The 200 Days of Code is an initiative where we are taking a sharper focus on educational content. We're going to be using two books by Larry Ellman to provide us with a framework for educational content for two tracks. We've got a beginner track and we've got an advanced track, and the goal here is to take our members, take the skills of our members to the next level, whether they're beginner or advanced. The beginner book is called, I think it's, I'm blanking here, but I think it's PHP and MySQL for Dynamic Websites. And that's by Larry Ellman, and the advanced book is Advanced PHP and Object-Oriented Programming. I believe that's what the titles are, and that's also by Larry Ellman. So the cool thing is you can come to our Boston PHP events for the next 6 months. You can buy the book or not buy the book. It's up to you. And whether you're a beginner or advanced skill level, you can come check out an hour lecture and follow along with us and hopefully bring your skills to the next level. We also have a time slot that we've made available in the beginning of all of these presentations for what we're calling intro talks. And these intro talks are a great way for members of our community to stand up and talk about their own story or what they've been working on recently, share a bit of technology. They're shorter format, they're a half hour long. And I'm really happy to have with me today the person who's going to be delivering our first intro talk on January 14th, next week. It's Ryan McDonald.
Thanks, Matt. And I just want to say I'm honored. You know, this is my first talk that I'm giving as well. So, you know, it's great to be part of such an incredible group and kicking off this 200 Days of Code.
Thanks. Yeah, we're super excited to have you on board, and I think it's really fitting because, well, I should say that the topic of Ryan's talk is. Well, actually, why don't you talk about the topic of your talk, and then I'll say why I think it's cool that you do it.
Sure. So it's basically a midlife career change, and I'll put the air quotes around midlife, so I don't ruffle too many feathers. But I basically did a 180-degree turn at 30 after about 5 years of pretty successful and eventful career as an electrical engineer, and decided that. I would be happier and really live a more fulfilling life if I could really get back to sort of my programming roots and build websites for a living. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, essentially, I just start with my story and how I graduated in '09 from University of Denver with a computer engineering degree with a specialization in robotics. And '09 is. Sure, everyone remembers was not a great time to graduate college.
Right.
So I got an offer for an electrical engineering position at a company in the Boston area, and packed up my stuff, left Denver, and worked for 5 years designing basically commercial and industrial size photovoltaic systems.
Yeah.
And it was a great job. It was really very interesting. There was kind of the altruistic aspect of working in solar, and I felt great about it. I was learning a ton, but I couldn't shake, this kind of nagging feeling that, I had kind of jumped ship on my programming before it even left the docks. I never even gave it a shot. So, I guess it was summer of 2013. So, just over a year ago, I decided that I would was going to leave the solar company and see what I could do with the computer and in terms of building websites. And I tried to teach myself for about 2 months. It went pretty well. It was exciting. It was fun. But I reached a point where I needed to talk to a human.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really articulate my questions in such a way that Google knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Which is a skill in itself. But yes, I started looking for personal accelerators, mentors, anything that I could kind of connect with somebody to really further my development, and I found the Startup Institute in Boston, and I enrolled in the fall 2013 session of that, and it changed my life. I mean, the network, the education, the curriculum is really very well crafted in the sense that it balances not just the hard skills, which I definitely learned a fair amount of, but it really focuses on personal development, on understanding what the startup business plan is like, how to really kind of take what I thought was pretty much irrelevant experience, 5 years as an electrical engineer, and kind of parlay that into certain skills or assets that I could contribute to a startup as a developer. I think I already said it, but the network. I mean, the network that you get when you just kind of surround yourself with those people with that energy, it's invaluable.
Yeah.
So from there, I actually got a call from one of my good buddies from the Startup Institute saying that the company he had just gotten hired by was looking for a junior engineer. I went in for the interview, and I left there like, that is where I want to work. That's
cool.
home now.
Yeah.
And so it was, kind of I'd say quick, if you will. About a year it took, for me to just, cut rope and leave one career behind and get a job in a completely different direction. But at the same time, it was definitely full of tough decisions and insecurity and second guessing yourself, and kind of you really have to want it, and so that's kind of what my talk is about. It's not just what resources are out there, or to try to like motivate people to get out there and follow your dreams, which is definitely in there, but it's also about kind of the story of the perseverance over all obstacles, personal, public, family. I mean, I left the Startup Institute and I was positive that I was a bad coder. I mean, I didn't think anybody wanted to hire me, and I had to kind of climb that hill and look at the other side and be like, listen, I have a lot to offer other than code, and I'm not a bad coder. I just am not at the level that I see other people at, which doesn't mean I'm not going to get there. And
but
so
you're passionate about it. I can tell that you're passionate about it, and that goes so far. Not only just in the workplace, but in learning. There's nothing better than somebody who is just driven to solve the problem. You're going to solve it, right? I mean, whatever the technology is, whether it's electrical engineering or software development, it seems like you're somebody who's you're going to get it done. That's very cool. Well, I think one of the things that is interesting to me about, I think one of the reasons why I'm really happy that you're going to be doing this intro talk on our kickoff event is that I feel like there are so many people in a similar boat as you. You look at the tech industry, it's starved for talent, right? Everybody's trying to find good people, people who are passionate, people who have the skills. There's a lot of money in software development jobs. They're plentiful, especially in the Boston area, and there are a lot of people who are in other industries who are eyeing tech and software development in particular and thinking, wow, could I do that? And yes, you can do it. You can actually do it. If you have the grit to really dig in and learn, you can do it. So I think it's great. I'm really happy that you're going to be doing this talk.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm excited. I'm excited to see kind of the reaction too, because I think for a little while I lived in that bubble of just my close friends and family and their opinions. And actually, in doing some research for the talk, I kind of surprised myself. I learned some things that I didn't expect about the numbers and how many people attempt career changes and how many people are unhappy or think that I'll find my dream job in the future. It's like
right, yeah, no, you went for it
now.
That's cool. And it's funny you say that. We often tell people who are looking to speak at Boston PHP that it's surprising how much you'll learn, even if you feel like you know the subject matter. When it comes time to teach it, you learn it at a whole other level, and it can be really satisfying as a speaker. Well, that's awesome. I really appreciate it. I won't take up any more of your time tonight, but I'm super excited to have you on board as a speaker next week. So just as a reminder, everybody, 200 Days of Code kicks off next week. Wednesday, January 14th, we meet in Cambridge at the Nerd Center, and that week we're up on the 11th floor. Check us out on our meetup site, meetup.com/BostonPHP. Ryan, thanks very much. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Matt, I'm looking forward to it too. Thank you.
All right. See ya.